today's video, I'd just like to share that 94% of my viewers aren't subscribed. So if you are feeling generous, be sure to drop a like and a sub, and let's get right into today's video. Thank you. Howdy, I'm Daxio, and this is Plugged In News. And in today's pin update, we have at least 36 people killed overnight in New York City and New Jersey during historic flooding, as well as Pineapple Express to launch Phase 2 for Americans left in Afghanistan. Let's get right into that. And for the first story today, this is coming from the New York Post by Emily Crane, and it is at least 36 people killed overnight in New York City and New Jersey during historic flooding. And I have a video of a flood, I believe, overtaking someone's apartment, or just like completely flooding someone's apartment. So you guys can check that out at the end of this segment, but let's get right into this. At least 36 people were killed across New York and New Jersey, including a 2-year-old boy and his parents, who all drowned in a basement apartment in Queens as the tail end of Hurricane Ida ravaged the Northeast. The storm knocked out power and flooded streets, homes, and subways, prompting the first ever flash flood emergency for the Big Apple and leaving a trail of devastation from Maryland to New York. At least 8 people died in the city after becoming trapped in flooded basement apartments, and one person was found dead in the backseat of their car on the Grand Central Parkway into Queens. 12 people in the 5 boroughs were reported killed by late Thursday afternoon. Suburban Westchester County reported 3 fatalities, including a Mount Kisco man found dead in floodwaters in Elmsford, who was identified as Rabbi Shmuel David Weissmandel, the son of famed Jewish religious leader. At least 23 people died in the Garden State, including a family of 3 found in the same apartment complex. The state's governor, Phil Murphy, said in late Thursday, the rising death tolls came as a state of emergency was in effect after the historic downpour knocked out power, closed roads, and destroyed homes and businesses across the 5 boroughs. As recovery efforts continued throughout the day, rescuers were still searching for more stranded and missing people, bracing for a potential higher death toll. Terrible story. The weather has been absolutely crazy. We have forest fires, we have hurricanes knocking out power, flooding, and they're all over too. There's like at least 3 hurricanes going on all over the world, I'm pretty sure. But check out this video right now.
Yeah.
Alright, and for the last story today, this is coming from Breitbart by Krista Wong, and it is Pineapple Express to launch Phase 2 for Americans left in Afghanistan. And I reported on this last week about Operation Pineapple Express, which is a bunch of ex-military vets going back to Afghanistan in order to help get Americans and American allies out. Now, let's get right into this. It goes on to read, the Pineapple Express, a network of special operations veterans and contacts on the ground who came together to evacuate American citizens and Afghan allies, is moving to the next phase of their operations, getting hundreds of Americans left behind in Afghanistan to safety. We're having to move from what was a very network-centric starfish kind of thing to a way more deliberate recovery. That focuses on 2 things, moving people to safety and getting them out immediately of harm's way from retribution and targeting, and then ultimately some of them to freedom. Scott Mann, a retired Green Beret who founded the Pineapple Express, said, categorically, we're looking at American citizens that are still a couple of hundred at least that are still in the country, he said in an interview with Breitbart on Tuesday. He said that they are also looking to aid Afghan partner forces, at-risk Afghans, innovators in democracy and the arts, women, prosecutors, judges, and young girls who have participated in nonprofit art endeavors. Nobody else is coming, he said. Mann did not detail exactly what those plans were, but he said him and his teammates would rely on networks in place for years and years. Green Berets are good at working by, with, and through indigenous people and populations, and we do not have to be on the ground to get things done. You know, and that's the bottom line, he said. They recorded his stutters and then put them in the article. It says, you know, and that's the bottom line. That's what it says. The Pineapple Express helped to get out about 700 Americans and Afghans inside Kabul and into the airport in 3 days using a shepherd concept. Mann said the former special operations used their contacts in and outside of Afghanistan to help get people inside He said they even received calls from inside the White House and the Joint Chief of Staffs for help to get people out. He said, I've had calls from the White House and the West Wing and the Joint Chiefs to get their people out. What does that mean? Our administration and our government is run poorly, improperly, and this is what happens. They have to call, our Joint Chiefs of Staffs and other people inside the White House have to call military vets in order to tell them, hey, we have Americans left in Afghanistan that apparently still need help. And our government is not doing that for us because they pulled the military out. Would you guys be able to do that for me? And they are. And they are. This is what has to happen because our government is incompetent. Man said that it all started with one Afghan commando he had been friends with, and I reported this this last week. I believe his name was Pineapple Express or something, or that's where they got the name from. And they've been friends since 2010, who even went through the U.S. Special Forces qualification course. The Afghan commando had applied for a special immigrant visa to come to the U.S. 2 years ago, but it hasn't been approved yet. When Kabul fell, Man started receiving text messages from him, a small group consisting of veterans, Rep. Mike Waltz from Florida, a staffer, ABC News reporter James Gordon Meek, and 2 active duty Green Berets joined together to help get the Afghan commando out. Again, like I said, guys, this is what happens when our government is completely incompetent and it just leaves their people in the dust. They could care less about their people, and this shows exactly why. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you did enjoy, drop a like, drop a sub down below, drop a comment, let me know how I'm doing, let me know what I can do to improve, and thanks for staying plugged in. Peace out, crew.